I am shooting this video this afternoon from the Home Depot parking lot. I was just in Home Depot and I noticed several people were in there that didn't even have masks on. And this one gentleman walks right by me with this standard poodle on a leash. Now, mind you, he was not wearing a mask and he had this giant poodle in Home Depot. And let me tell you something right now, big boy. Leave your dog at home. Why do you need to take a dog to Home Depot? I don't even want to hear that sorry excuse that it's a therapy dog, that it makes you feel better while you're at Home Depot. Okay? I walk in Home Depot all the time and I hear dogs, like people being there with their German Shepherds, and they'll be all the way at the back of the store just barking like wild beasts. Okay? I don't go to Home Depot. Matter of fact, let me just say this. I don't even have a dog. I don't have a dog. I don't really like dogs. If you have a dog, that's fine. If I come over to your house, I'll pet your dog, especially if it's a puppy. Who doesn't want to pet a puppy? But I don't have a dog. I don't want a dog. And I don't want to go out in public and you have your dog there. Violation of my space. I don't want to hear your dog bark. I don't want to walk by your dog and worry about your dog biting me. Because it happens. It happens. Trust me, it happens. I've worked in the field. It happens all the time. But there was also a bunch of people in there buying their own fence material. There was like 5 orders waiting to go out the door. And there was a couple gentlemen out front. And I'm just like, well, just everybody's just out of work because of COVID and just going to build your own fence. Oh, those people are going to call me in 2 or 3 months and they're going to say, Jason, I messed up and my fence looks awful. Can you come and fix it? It's going to cost you more to have me come fix it than if you would have just called me from the beginning and I would have built you a beautiful fence. But today I wanted to, let me go ahead and shut the truck off. It's making a whole bunch of racket back here. We're going to talk about idioms, okay? Idioms and phrases. Now, what an and I took some notes because I've had a busy day and I've been brainstorming this all day and I wanted to make sure and get this right. I like to bring you good material, appropriate material. Now, an idiom, it's a form of expression natural to language, a person, or a group. Now, here's why I'm going to talk about idioms. I want to talk about this because, as I've stated before, I'm from Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, we talk kind of funny. We have a little drawl to our speech and, slang, whatever you want to call it. And whenever you leave Oklahoma, not everyone understands you the same way. So if you use a phrase or an idiom that you've learned because you're from the Midwest or you're from the South or you're from the North or you're from another country, well, when you travel, people may not understand what you're saying. And I learned this early on, not early on, geez, listen to me. I learn as I go, okay? I learn as I go. And as a business owner, and I go out and I do estimates and I talk to people, really what I noticed it because we have, here in Dallas, we have a lot of people from India. We call them Indians here. Now, I'm from Oklahoma, and when you say Indian, you mean Native American. And no, I don't mean Native American. I mean Indian. From India, the country of India. And we have a lot of Asians. We have several cities here in the Metroplex that are nationally ranked for Vietnamese populations, especially here in Garland, Richardson. Arlington is another one of them that has a lot of them. And so we're really a melting pot of people. And you have to be careful when you go out and you're doing an estimate or something like that and you use certain phrases or idioms that are natural to me because the way I grew up and the way I learned how to communicate, those aren't necessarily the case when you're at someone from another country's house. You might say something and they're like, huh? Now, then there's another spectrum, and it really makes you feel old when this happens, but, a good majority of customers and people that I have contact with, we're starting to get more into my age group. And when I say my age group, I'm 40, so I'm just going to lump it together and say there's a lot of working professional people with families that are aged 35 to 45. I consider that my age group. and it's getting to where it's more prominent. Now, of course, we've got our old customers, and there are customers out there that are 25, 26, 27 years old, fresh out of college. They got a banging job. They're doing right by society by calling people like me out to do jobs for them. But the difference is they do not communicate the same way I communicate. So if I use some hillbilly phrase from Oklahoma, well, they're going to look at me like I'm crazy and say, huh? I had this happen it was about a year and a half ago. I was talking to a young man. He was, I think, 24 years old, and I said something to him, and I don't even remember what it was. But he said, what does that mean? And I actually had to be like, well, yeah, that's silly. What does it mean? Why do I say that? Well, I say that because I grew up saying it. That's what we do. And so I really am cognizant of that, and I try to make sure that I communicate clearly to where people can understand, and I try not to use those idioms. And I wrote down some idioms here that we're going to talk about. Some of the ones that really drive me crazy, and I just refuse to use them, but also some of the ones that I use mostly out of habit because it's just a bad habit. I just say it because I say it, and I like to communicate more clearly. I think we determined that by now. So here we go. Number one on the list. Let's just get this out the... No, that's not number one. That's number two. But I got it here on the list. Number one. Number one. When they say... and this always reminds me when I was watching like a singing show like The Voice or American Idol. And they used to always say, at the end of the day, you just weren't a good enough singer. That's the idiom. At the end of the day. What does at the end of the day mean? Okay. Well, it means when everything is taken into consideration. Why don't you just go ahead and say, well, when I take everything into consideration, isn't that just as long as saying at the end of the day? Come on, man. Because the people that say at the end of the day are the same people that say at the end of the day about everything. Not about just one little thing and maybe use the phrase once in a month. No, you're probably using the phrase about 20 times a week, and stop it. Learn how to communicate. Okay, here it is. This is the big one. Breathe. I have to really focus on this one because when you say this, just the claws come out. I bring the sass. It is what it is. Deal with it. It is what it is, and deal with what? What are you saying? It is what it is, and I have to deal with it. It is not what it is, and I will not deal with it. You need to tell me, describe to me in detail what it is. Because just saying it is what it is tells me nothing. Help me out. Remember the other day when I was talking about asking why? Well, if you say it is what it is, I'm going to say why. Why? You are giving me no information. Please. I feed off of information. Bring me info because it is not what it is. I'm not going to use that phrase. Please, if you ever hear me use that phrase, slap me upside the head. Go get all of your friends and bring me a knuckle sandwich and bring it to me. Don't let me say that. Hold me accountable. I may say it. Hey, in regards to it is what it is, that'd be like a woman saying, let's say a woman has a baby, and 18 months, 24 months later, you say, hey, you gonna lose that baby weight? What's happening here in this region? And she goes, it is what it is. I just had a baby. It is not is what it is. You had a child. Hold yourself accountable. When you've went through the process, okay, this is a man speaking. I've never had a child come out of my body. But if I was to have a child come out of my body, well, then I would be the first one in line at the crunch machine at the gym, and I'd be pounding them crunches, and I'd really be working it hard. It is not what it is. You had a child. You are responsible for your body. Get out there and get your body in shape and feel good about yourself. Some people say it is what it is just because they'll say, I just did it that way, or that's the way I know how to do it. I've had customers ask me before, and I've seen other fence builders use this phrase, and a customer will say, well, why'd you do that? And I've heard people in my industry say, well, it is what it is. It is not what it is. That is not how you speak to a customer. That is not professional. You better explain to that customer right then and there why it is what it is. There is a reason why you said that. What is that reason? Explain it in a manner that people from all over the universe will understand. Because you could talk to someone from Canada and you could try to say it is what it is, and they're probably not going to have a clue what what did he just say? Don't use it. Please do not use that one. There's some on the list you can use. Do not use that one. I got skin in the game. That's another one. Because I got skin in the game. What do you have? What game are you talking about? I got skin in the game. This is a good one. When someone says, shit rolls downhill. What kind of shit are we talking about? Because I've seen lots of types. There's various forms of it. Does it all roll downhill? I think not. Off the wagon. My sober folks out there, don't drink no beer no more, whatever, whiskey, whatever is your vice. Fell off the wagon. Well, Jason, I fell off the wagon. I had me a beer. What wagon? Is this the 1700s? Are you rolling into Oklahoma for the land run? The 1889 land run, you're rolling through there and you fell off the wagon with the bottle of whiskey? Who's gonna understand that? If you're at a little Vietnamese immigrant, you got a Vietnamese immigrant that moved to America in 1972, after the Vietnam War, and you say, "Oh, I fell off the wagon," he's gonna say, "Excuse me?" Probably not in that voice, but he's not gonna understand you. Is what I'm saying. You dig? Rose-colored glasses. Well, Jason, I just view it through rose-colored glasses. It's cute. I mean, that's something we learned in literature, right? In school. It's a really cute phrase. I may use it every once in a while. Doesn't mean I like it. I do a lot of stuff I don't like. I drink like a fish. What are you doing over there? Drinking like a fish? Fish live in water. You mean to tell me a fish is drinking water? That's a phrase that you're supposed to use? That fish is in water. I don't think that fish is drinking water. I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist. I should have been, probably, huh? Drink like a fish. Goodness sakes. If you drink enough to use the phrase I drink like a fish, I'm not even going to tell you what you should be doing. I got bigger fish to fry. I like fried fish. That's not what they're talking about. I got bigger fish to fry. You know what that is? That's telling someone to piss off. Why don't you pull your boots up? Why don't you be a man? You want to tell someone to piss off? Well, just say it. Say it to them. Don't say I got bigger fish to fry. You might as well bust out them knuckles again and just hit me upside the head if you're going to say I got bigger fish to fry to Jason. I'm not going to take it very well. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I'm going to tell you what you do. You want to make your horse drink water, and you plan on taking them to the watering hole, and you don't expect them to drink because you say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Let me tell you right now how you make them drink. You run that sucker ragged. You run him all up and down that hill like it's 2-a-days time and you're just training for football season. And I'll guarantee you take an old run down ragged horse that you've been running up and down hills all day, up in mountainsides. You put about 15, 20 miles on them. You take them down to the water hole. They're drinking water. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So, I mean, that covers it. And that only took 14 minutes. My goodness. In that 14 minutes, have you taken the time to like this video? Because I think it's a good video. We'll talk about this one a lot. Hey, this is a great video to go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. But also leave me a comment. If there's a phrase or an idiom that you don't like, or even one that you do like to use, comment. Let me know what it is. We'll talk about it one day.